Hello, everybody. I hope everybody is having a great morning. It's about 7:37 in the morning here in beautiful Los Angeles. It's a Sunday, and I can't wait to introduce my next guest. We're 12 hours and 30 minutes apart. So that's why we're doing this early this morning. For her, it's the end of the day. It's nighttime, but I wanted to just let everybody know we're not going to be talking about coronavirus facts, any updates. We're not going to give the latest numbers. If you want the latest information about COVID-19, go to these two websites that you see on your screen, cdc.gov and who.int. They have great resources of what you can do if you contracted the virus, how you can protect yourself. There's just a lot of great resources they have. You can also follow your local news organizations and health officials for more information. All right. Well, my next guest is the host of New India Junction. Very excellent journalist, and she's doing amazing work out there in India right now. Priyanka Deo. Hi, Priyanka. How are you?
Hey Oscar, namaste everyone for having me.
Of course, of course. So, I just gotta ask. Like right now, it's like eight.
It
What was
is
it? 8:30.
8:30 over here
Yeah.
in New Delhi and the
Wow.
rest of
Yeah.
India.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah. How are you holding up with all of this?
It's we are into day 11 or 12. I'm losing count of the days, but we went into a 21-day national lockdown, and we're just about halfway through it. And it's going for me personally. It's going really well. I've not taken a break. In that sense, I'm very lucky because the videos that I make are done from home, and I can keep producing and I can keep shooting. So in that sense, I keep writing as well. So it's like a normal working day. But in a sense, it's good for me because I've not really taken a break. So I am actually focusing a lot on my fitness, on my eating, since we have to cook at home now all the time. I'm just focusing on workouts, and I'm posting those videos as well, just of my dinner and my workout for the day. And those are actually being received very, very positively. So I'm very happy about that. And hopefully I can inspire some people to get fit. I've actually lost some weight during this lockdown.
Oh,
So
there you go.
I'm
I'm gonna have
super
to watch your
excited.
videos.
There you go. They're all home workouts. I used to play tennis, so I actually have a lot of injuries, and I can only do like low impact workouts and not strain my body too much. But in that time, I've also been an athlete, so I really like an intense workout, and a workout that actually works you out, right? Not like, we just kind of relaxed and I don't feel completely worked out. I like to feel that, that feeling, Oscar, when you work out and like your body feels really, really good. So
Oh
I
yeah.
really, I crave those workouts, and it's people are sharing their workouts with me. They're telling me, why don't you try this? Why don't you try that? So we alternate between cardio day and strength training day, and it's going really well. It's a great interaction between people. They're sending me their pictures of their dinners as well. So it's going. It's really fun, actually. It's a good way to stay positive, because, as you know, the lockdown, quarantine time, isolation can be both kind of taxing emotionally and physically. So these are just ways to spread the positivity a little bit.
Yeah. Well, have you became keeping tabs on the news out here, out of the United States, on what we're doing out here to fight the pandemic, and how does that compare to
Yeah.
what India is doing right now?
I think I have been keeping tabs. A lot of my professors, I went to USC down in LA, so I'm in touch with my professors there. I am in touch with a lot of people from Chicago. I grew up there and went to college over there. So in Illinois, I believe their rate of people getting the virus, it has increased quite a bit. Or positive cases, I should say, has increased quite a bit. So I am in touch with generally what's happening. And I think in that sense, India had the advantage of looking and seeing what, because I think India was hit a little bit after the US. And there are some countries that have done an exceptional job of, kind of combating and containing the virus. And everyone at this point, all the countries that have been hit are working super, super hard and around the clock. And I don't think that you can compare the two, right? Because we have a population here of 130 crore people. And
Wow, that's a lot.
the United States definitely, yeah. And then the difference is that over here we have a bunch of different customs, cultural factors that we need to take into consideration. But I think that the thing that remains uniform is just the best practices. And I think that both countries, from what I see, are doing a tremendous job in kind of circulating now what the best practices are. And I believe that every citizen in India, which is a lot of citizens, as I said, 1.3 billion, they all know to, kind of wash your hands, sanitize, maintain social distance. So even when you see people walking to the grocery store now, days into the lockdown, I've never seen anything like it because, the other day I went grocery shopping and for the first time, it's so packed in these stores normally because there's just so many people in this country. So very, very dense population clusters that India has. And for the first time in my life, I'm seeing people kind of maintaining distance. They're not shoulder to shoulder anymore. And I was like, gosh, I hope that we kind of continue this after the lockdown continues, that we just maintain space from each other.
There you go. Yeah, there's certain things out here that people are thinking about maybe just implementing for after
Yeah,
this whole thing is over too. But
just officially implemented,
yeah,
right?
exactly. But so let's talk a little bit about the lockdown that you're experiencing over there, because over here you're still able to go out to get essentials. You just have to, yeah, keep your social distancing, and then now they want us to wear face coverings when not in public. Over in India, are you guys allowed under this lockdown allowed to go out and purchase groceries, or are you cut off entirely and you have to stay home, not go out?
So I think that of course, we are emergency service centers and facilities and everything remain open. So we are allowed to go out and get groceries. But by and large, you get stared at if you're just wandering around, walking around with your phone. Nobody is doing that at this point. And I believe law enforcement, police authorities are doing an excellent job of kind of keeping people in. Because at this point, with the population clusters that we have, um, and the proximity that people have to one another, just because of lack of space, it's more important to maintain your social distance from each other. Now, where I live, it's more of a residential area. There's not a lot of people around. So, in that sense, going to the grocery store for me personally, I'm lucky enough, and I'm one of the lucky few in the country that does not really have a problem with that. There's not too many people around where I live, but people who live in high rises and people who live in very, very close proximity to each other, they're facing a very, very stringent lockdown. And because we see them facing that, I think citizens, out of respect for one another, have kind of joined in this sort of effort to, Prime Minister Modi has spoken to us. He addressed the nation in a video conference the other day. And he told all of us to, number one, light a candle. So we're going to be lighting a candle at 9 o'clock. That's coming up in just some time for 9 minutes, just to kind of bring some light to drive away the darkness that coronavirus has put on our country. So I'm really excited to do that. But other than that, I think that citizens have really kind of joined together. Regardless of, we're a country with tremendous differences in religion, in political ideology, in just our own identities, how we identify ourselves in terms of dialect, where we're from. Tremendous cultural differences as well that we have from one another, and this is for the first time in my life, even though grown up in the United States, I've always come back to India because it's home for me. And those differences were very apparent when I was growing up. So literally, for the first time in my life, I'm seeing people come together, and the true sense of what an Indian is really coming out during this coronavirus pandemic. If you can see the silver lining, because I think out of respect for the people that are really stuck, or citizens that are really struggling, people who are homeless right now, people who don't have the circumstances that I have, out of respect for them, we're choosing to stay at home as well, even though we don't have symptoms, even though we don't, it's relatively easy to even just kind of walk around. Nobody's really doing that. So that's really great to see.
Yeah, and I have never been afraid of anything like I am now. It's amazing to just say that, because it's something you can't see, but you know it's there and it's looming. And for me personally, the scary part for me, the reason why I'm so afraid of this is because I don't know if I have it. I don't know that, and
Yeah.
so I if I go out, even if I'm feeling fine, one of my worst fears is to spread it to somebody that will then
Yeah.
really jeopardize their health. And so just because of that unknown, um, yeah, I try to be as careful as I can, and heed the officials' warnings. I think everybody should be doing that anyway. But there were
Yeah.
still, and there still are reports of people, especially young people, that feel like they're untouchable, going out and just going out and about and
So,
roaming around. And
yeah. Yeah.
um so I yeah, that's this is one of the things that I'm following to the teeth. And so I've been working from home for, I think, almost 3 weeks now, and
Mhm.
usually there's plenty of stuff to do here around the house, and my mind is always working, especially with creating digital content. But I've only gone out 3 times, and yesterday was the first time in my life that I've had to wear a mask to go out in public, just to get a couple grocery items. And then
Mhm.
I come back, and then I have to take precautions not to bring whatever I got from out there
Yeah.
inside the house. So just going through this process, and then not only that, but I've been well. Have you been watching a lot of entertainment too, like streaming movies or
Oh
anything
man,
like that?
yeah.
Let me ask you
uh,
this, because this happens to me. So I look at this stuff on streaming. I was just watching a movie yesterday, and one of the comments was like, one of the quotes was something along the lines of, "Ooh, I wanna travel to la 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 so and so," and then I'm thinking like, no, you can't go. The airports are closed. No, like you
yep.
gotta get, like, it's doing this psychological thing on me sometimes, where I'm watching these movies where there's large gatherings. I'm like, no, no, like, it gives me a little anxiety. So how about you? Does that happen to you as well, or?
I can totally relate. It's like we're living in a sci-fi movie, right? And we don't know the ending, but I hope that the ending, like most sci-fi movies, the ending is great. So I think that we are going to get through this. But Netflix is it's become one of my best friends. So if you can see, actually, I'll pull up my setup here.
Sure.
So I'll show you what I've kind of done. And here we go. So this is my setup, my big screen sort of TV, and here's my laptop where it's all played from. So I have like four screens of going on here all the time, which is I've been watching Netflix, but I really do think so. The first couple of days were very unnerving. Actually, no. I think the first couple of days were really easy during the lockdown because everyone wanted to just kind of sleep and let their bodies relax. But as the lockdown has continued, and we're trying to find a schedule, and let our bodies kind of regulate and let our minds regulate into a very different schedule under very different circumstances. And I think that's what a lot of people are struggling with. But I have actually made it a point to not watch so much Netflix. So I think I'm kind of doing the things that I've not had a chance to do. And you probably could relate. I mean, we are
Oh
on
yeah.
digital all the time, right? So it's either one platform or the other, or one device or the other, constantly in our hands. And I'm trying to actually use this time more to really, it was very difficult at first, but as the days have gone on, I think it's just gotten a little easier. That once you try to stick to the same routine every day, and my routine and my sleeping hours, my gosh, are something that I don't want to continue after this lockdown is over. But whatever it is, I make sure that I'm sleeping just about 8 hours, and then I wake up, and then I just get right to work. And then after that, I make sure to kind of just switch off and go work out. And then after that, like I'm cooking a lot more over here. So, I think that after 4 or 5 days of just cooking by yourself, I was sort of the person that if you're tired, just that one day, just order takeout, right? So I'm a person that would order takeout multiple times during the week. And now that's not happening because I'm like, what's the point? You don't know where the containers are. You don't know how it's coming to you. And it's a little scary. I'm personally scared of that. So avoiding the takeout and actually, like thinking I have to take time to think of what I want to eat and allocate that time to cooking. But that actually helps you. I've improved, I think, my cooking skills over the past few days as well. And because of the healthy home eating, it's helping my workouts become more effective as well. So I think that the day goes by a lot quicker and a lot easier. It's not as taxing on your mind if you actually stick to a certain schedule. And like I said in the beginning, I think I'm lucky in the sense that we all have work to do during the day, right? But if you don't have work, it's all the more difficult. And just Netflixing the entire day long is actually going to hinder. It's very tolling on the mind after a while. I believe that. So to those that are kind of having a lot of free time, put a goal out there, like schedule routine, and prioritize some things that you've always wanted to do, like your workouts, because those can be done at home. Like I have very little space over here, but all my workouts are done in this room. So if I can do it and still lose weight, all of you can as well. So
There you go. Yeah, don't spend all your time watching Tiger King on Netflix.
yeah, I know, right? I've been watching Mrs. Maisel. I've been
Oh, there
like
you go.
Friends if I don't have anything to watch. I do play a lot of music though, because that pumps me up when I'm writing or when I'm doing something. So it's cool to like, normally I listen to my music in on my headphones at work, right? But here it's like it's cool to just blast it and play it, and I'm like, this is kind of cool. So.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about the remote work. Before this lockdown happened, were you doing remote work already? And if not, how easy was the transition from
No.
going?
I think, well, okay, so I'm a YouTuber, so a lot of my work is remote in that sense. But we did have a crew, and we definitely go on site and shoot a lot, and then come back to work, and everyone would be working together. So it was much easier to get stuff done because everyone was just next to each other working. And now it's been a learning process because we're still getting the videos done. I'm not going out and reporting, but what I am doing is bringing light to a lot of the work that's being done, a lot of the action that the government is taking, spreading positive messages. Like, for example, we're doing this candlelight thing at 9 o'clock where we're all shutting off our lights at home and lighting a diya, which is an Indian version of a candle, and or a candle, or even your mobile phone flashlight, or just a flashlight, whatever you have. And people were concerned, for example, yesterday that there would be, won't that affect the national power grid? So there's a lot of misconceptions going around, and my videos at this point in time are to bring light to, no pun intended, right? But yesterday I did a video on how the national power grid would not actually be affected, and this is what the Ministry of Power had said, and not a lot of people knew about it. So it's kind of bringing light to just a lot of things that people are unaware about, as well as sites that you're supposed to go see. If you are confused about something, as you said, in the USA, you always have the CDC or the WHO website. Here, the government has set up hotlines, emergency numbers, even email addresses that you can go to. There's a lot of organizations also that have set up emergency numbers and can get you help. And if you're confused about where to go, or if you feel you have symptoms and you don't know what to do, a lot of people are still kind of unaware or confused about what they should be doing. So I hope that my videos are helping.
Yeah, no, I think so too. And I see your followers continuing to increase every time. But yeah, you have over 19,000 followers right now. I think on Instagram alone, and you're on the other platforms as well. So I think
Yeah.
your reach is really good right now. And I have seen your videos about trying to dispel misconceptions, which is I think really important because of all the sources of information
Yeah.
and flow of information that's coming out there. You just don't know what the heck to do. So that's one of the reasons too why I'm staying away from providing updates, because especially like with what's happening now, it changes every day, and you already know the numbers are going to go up anyway. But I just I wanna keep any data that's coming out to leave it to the pros. That's how journalists can get in
Yep.
trouble too. You might misspeak on something because the like again the information changes so rapidly right now.
Mhm.
But one of the things we were talking a little bit about just before we started was the environment and the impacts of the environment over here in Los Angeles,
Yeah.
because there's no
If you don't mind,
yeah.
I think that that's a really important point that you brought up in terms of misconception, because it really disturbed a lot of
Mhm.
citizens, and it was a really tragic thing that happened. Everyone, I think their hearts were like, oh my gosh, because we a few days into the lockdown, there was a article that was it was honestly a fear mongering article by put out by a certain media platform, and it said that the lockdown could potentially extend to 3 months when there was no sort of announcement or official kind of announcement that said that. Because of that, India has a tremendous amount of people who are struggling, right? And what happens is a lot of these people migrate to cities to try to find work. And now, with most major forms of transportation being shut, like trains, and Indian Railways have kind of suspended most of their trains and all of their trains, if I'm not mistaken, at this point, except for cargo and storage trains. But like, I think in terms of passengers, they've stopped everything. And airports, as you said, are shut. They're shut over here as well. But what's happened with these migrant workers is they got scared that the lockdown could be for 3 months and they don't have any work. So where are they going to live? What are they going to do? Um, where are they going to get their next meal? Forget their next paycheck, correct? So
Mhm.
they actually gathered. Can you imagine? Close to 100,000 people, if not more, gathered at one area uh, during an national lockdown. Sorry, and they were neck to neck waiting for buses to transport them home. And if they couldn't catch a bus, they started walking home. And these people live hundreds of miles away, right? But their answer was, "We'd rather die trying than, be stuck in a city and run out of resources." So there were a few cases that died just trying to walk home. And for what? For a headline that was not real, for a headline that just wanted to sensationalize the issue at hand. So it's super important, and I think a lot of my videos and the things that I write about deal with these misconceptions, because the consequences can actually be fatal and unrelated to coronavirus. I mean, these people lost their lives for no reason, just for a headline that was bad. I mean, please do check out my work. I'm sure, Oscar, you can relate, because I'm sure that there
Mhm.
are similar news articles in the US going around. And it is super important. And I want to call citizens, especially, to. And I want to call upon all of them, and whoever is kind enough to follow me, to just be aware of what you're reading, and to kind of fact check what's going on, and look to national credible sources and national credible leadership and experts that have kind of confirmed this information. And if you're confused about it, as you said, leave it to the pros. There are numbers and there are official email addresses and phone numbers and emergency hotlines that you can connect to. And that those are not related just to talk about symptoms. Those are related for any type of confusion that you may have. So it's super, super important at this time to do this and also to share that information along with others. Like I'm sure, Oscar, you're part of WhatsApp groups or groups on your phone, family
Hmm.
groups, groups of friends on your phone. It's really important to dispel false information on those phones as well. And I really now or never, we need that. That's the need of the hour. I think all across the world because people need the right. There's as it is enough confusion going around, and things
Yeah.
keep changing as you say, day by day, minute by minute. So I do think that it is our civic responsibility, regardless of what country you belong to be a engaged citizen and to dispel that information if you know it to be false or if you're not sure about it. Question somebody about it. Where did you get this? Where is it from? Is it true? Is it false? And dispel it if it's not true in your WhatsApp group. It makes a difference even if 8 people, 5 people, 2 people get to know what the real story is because they're going to share it to 4 more people, and those 4 people are going to share the right information to 10 more people, and so on and so forth. So super, super important, and I'm glad that you brought that point up. And sorry to interrupt you, but I
Yeah.
thought that it was very, very, very important to say because that's what I'm trying to kind of make my videos revolve around the importance of looking at the right information.
Yeah. No, and I think that's why I think that the work that you're doing is really important. Yeah. Over here, there's always a lot of information with some officials
Yep.
contradicting themselves at points or at times. So that's why I try to get the information from the health officials that are actually working on this and have the numbers and everything. Because I mean, you don't know until you go to these sites about what the real information is. Because you can just hear
Yep.
it from anybody, and they might not. They might just be somebody that heard it from somebody else, and so it just goes into like this chain. And it reminds me of a game that we played as kids back in school, where the teacher would make
Are you
us.
talking about snake?
Yes. Yeah.
I knew it.
Did you play that too?
Yep.
There you go.
It's exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly. um, but yeah, I think you just brought up a great point, and yeah, just keep doing the work that you're doing because I think it's really important. There's people
Thank
out
you.
there, that might not have the know-how on how to access the right information. So, it's up to folks like
Yeah.
you that put out this content on these
It's up
platforms that
to,
people are watching.
it is up to, but I do think that, like I said, the followers that, follow you, Oscar, or the, followers that follow me, thank you so much for following me. And, I use it as I don't consider myself an influencer, but if I do have people who are kind enough to listen to me and to give me their time, I do feel that it's important to get the right information out to them. And I hope more than me just giving the right information, they're able to share it with, their own circles, which is the point of social media anyway. It's supposed to be an engagement platform. I don't believe in this amassing many, many followers. I believe I care more about, the verification and everything. It's fine. And my story about verification, Oscar. I think
Yeah.
for the record, everyone, Oscar has tried to teach me how to apply to get verified multiple times, and I have been rejected. But I care more about getting the right word out to people, and I'm overjoyed that both my Instagram and Twitter are growing. People are sharing my videos and the correct information. And more importantly, I look to their feedback. So I'm super active. I don't give out my phone number because I miss messages on my phone. But I do look at all my Twitter messages and all my Instagram messages. And, if you have any ideas or information, please message me on those handles. It's just Priyanka Deo. So Priyanka. and DEO, just one word for both of them. But please try to get in contact with me and let me know if there's something that you're confused about, or if there's a good video idea. I'd be happy to research that and make it for everyone to see. And I hope that you guys share the content as well, because it's super important that people get the right info.
Yeah, no, and of course, I'll put those links to your social media in the
Yep.
caption and description to these videos that I'll upload. I mean, right now we're live on Facebook, but we're gonna be uploading
Yep.
also the entire clip up on YouTube. So yeah, I'll put
Great.
yeah I'll put your social media accounts on there so people can connect with you on social.
Yeah.
And
Be happy.
yeah, and just before we wrap this up, I did want to talk a
Sure.
little bit about the environment because of the impact it's having, and you mentioned
Yep.
earlier there's so many people in India, but now
Yeah.
that everybody's kind of staying home, what have you been seeing out there as far as the environment goes?
It is incredible. It's absolutely incredible, to say the least. New Delhi is where I am right now. It's plagued with pollution most of the year, and that is something that I have had a lot of difficulty adjusting to since I moved from. I was in Boston in 2018. I was at Harvard, so to come from Harvard, to New Delhi. I think that when I was living in the U.S., like a day that was where the air quality index was 40 or 49, people would say, "Oh my gosh, be careful when you walk out," or it would be like a remote work from home day. But it's absolutely amazing. Like New Delhi, for the first time, New Delhi, I think air quality index on a good day is well over 100. And right now, New Delhi is like 20 in air quality index. It's like we're in the green, and it's incredible. Like you can just go outside of your house and take a deep breath, which you could not do before. Taking a deep breath in New Delhi, you could feel the pollution kind of coming into you. And I was just talking to a friend earlier today, and he was saying, there was an article about people with things like asthma, or people who had, problems with respiration in their lungs. They're actually getting better and they're recovering because the air is actually clean. And I spoke to my friends in Mumbai, and they actually told me that Mumbai is right along the Arabian Sea, and now that water is also very, very polluted. I think, Oscar, you saw one of my beach cleanup videos that I was doing a little while ago.
I did,
But
yes.
yeah, so they said that they actually saw a dolphin in the water the other day. It was absolutely incredible. And people are shocked to see nature reviving itself so quickly. It's just been, like I said, 11 or 12 days into this lockdown. And the water is blue, the air is clean. And I was like, gosh, I hope that, maybe we should not enforce a lockdown a little later, but maybe we should, I hope that citizens kind of come out of this being more aware of the environment, and having a little bit more respect for the environment, because now people are seeing the positive impacts of what not polluting the environment is doing, right? We're seeing it firsthand. I saw parrots outside my house today while walking out. So there were like 10 parrots on the tree. And I was like, oh my God, I have never seen that at all over here. So,
That's amazing. Yeah, out here too in Los Angeles, there's very little traffic on the highways, and that's really only with people just kind of
I
moving
was gonna
along, trucking
say,
along.
that's incredible.
Yeah, exactly. Like every
Remember delay, being stuck for 3 hours in that traffic. And it's, I've never seen a day in LA that doesn't have that traffic.
Yeah, well, and I got to tell you, like I'm really enjoying working from home. I just read an article about a survey that was done where most Americans like working from home, or they're having a good time working from home, and they kind of want something like that to continue after this whole thing is over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just that's one of the things that I'm really liking right now. Like I save on gas. I help in the environment is one of those things.
There you go.
So yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot to say about people. Well, and the thing too about this survey that they did was that that yeah, there's some people that say that they're not as productive, but the majority of them said that they feel possibly been more productive working from
Yeah.
home. And
Yeah.
it's a concept that I think America is still catching up to. You know, this remote work from home.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have been doing sort of that for a while now. Is there any um, I don't know if I should say tips or advice, but just any notes that you could give to somebody that's just maybe starting to work remotely. This is a new experience for them to kind of
Yeah.
make them feel a little bit at ease with remote work.
No, that's a great question. I think the main thing that people struggle with is the emotional distancing, right? But I mean, think about years before when we lived at a time where there was no, like, Skype was about to be created, right? And video conferencing. Remember those webcams that cost a lot of money when
Yes.
we were young from Best, right? Like they cost a
Yeah.
bomb, right? And my
Oh yeah.
parents never even got one until like way later. But we lived in a time where that didn't exist and a phone call existed. And I've always, like I said, when I was growing up in Chicago, my family, besides my parents, were all back in India. So it was just a phone call to them occasionally. And, so it can be done. That's the one thing, that's the one hump that people need to get over. That yes, it is a very trying time and that you can't go, kind of chill with your friends when you want to, but I do think that be in touch with people. You have the time and kind of the space to do it in your own home. And I would stress the importance, if I have to give everyone a note, I think what's really worked for me is to have a routine. Like some people may be more active at night. I'm a night person, for example. So I stay awake late into the night, but I do make sure that I get my 8 hours of sleep. And when I do wake up, I do put in, at least 6.5 to 8 hours of work straight. And I do make it a point to stick to that routine. After I work, I go out to my front yard for a workout. And then after that, I make dinner. So in that, if you keep that routine and if you keep kind of a sort of structure for your day, I think that really, really does help you out a lot. And it makes you very well adjusted, and it makes you see the positives of working from home as well. So I think that that's just maintain your routine, make sure that you're getting your sleep, and definitely focus on your fitness and healthy eating, because you may as well, right? It's like now is actually ideal circumstances to get fit and work out a little bit more and have resources to eat healthy. So if you have the opportunity, it's somebody gave me a great quote the other day. In every sort of form of adversity, there is opportunity, and use the lockdown to your advantage, because why not, right?
Exactly. Well said. And I
There
think
you
with and I think with that we'll end it because we've been talking a while. I think more than what I have with other folks, and I know that you have to go because of the
Yeah, day
yeah.
56. So we're about to light a candle, and I hope that. Have you done that yet, Oscar? I know a few countries have done that. Italy did it just a little while ago, but has the USA done that? I'm not sure.
Not that I've heard of, but there have
Okay.
been some. Well, for example, in New York, they lit the Empire State Building with
Oh,
they
that's
called it the heartbeat of America. So it was like these
yeah,
a pulsating red light, and then I mean it was really nice, and I think there was other. I mean it's been all over the country, just these isolated events. I don't think the country
mhm,
as a whole has done it all at once.
yeah.
So yeah, I hope they do it more. The people I know in New York, I think I saw a report that said that or a news story where every day at 7 p.m. ever since the hospital ship arrived in New York. Every day around
Mhm.
7, the residents just go out of their windows and just start clapping for the first responders, and it's become a little
That's
bit
great.
of a ritual, I believe. But yeah, I do hope that those events pick up
It
because
was really, yeah. did that nationally just a little while ago. I believe it was on March 22nd. We went outside and, for 5 minutes we had to clap and bang pots and pans and do whatever. And, people were skeptical about it. People were a little like, okay, this is lame. Like, this is not going to fight coronavirus. But I think, I did it, and there were so many videos that it brought tears to your eyes because, my parents did it as well. And they're in Pune right now, which is another city. And they did it as well. And they were telling me that, it's after the 5 minutes, many societies, many buildings, many, sort of clusters, they broke out into the national anthem and the national song after that. And it was just such a good and positive way to bring people together and show that we are a unified front. So whether you're from the United States, whether you're from India, whether you're from Italy, wherever you're from, it just showed a great way of coming together. And I think tonight's sort of candlelight vigil that we're doing is another way to, the Prime Minister said that it's a way of bringing sort of light to chase the darkness of coronavirus away. So I think it's just symbolic. It's a symbolic gesture, but it's supposed to instill a little bit of peace and solidarity because these are really trying times. So it's just about to come up here for 12 minutes away. We're at 8:48. It's supposed to be at 9 p.m. for 9 minutes. So I'm looking forward to doing it and joining my neighbors out there and just showing some light.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I love hearing that. And yeah, it's not, everything is not about how you're going to defeat the virus, but
Yeah.
some things like these special events that are being held, they're more, I think, they're food for the soul. They're there to make
That
you
is,
feel good, to keep on going, to give you that glimmer, that glimmer of
that's
hope.
absolutely true. And to show you that you're not alone in this. I mean, it is an isolating time. Literally, it's an isolating time, right? Isolation is encouraged right now. But I think that you're absolutely right. It's more for the soul, and it's more for, your sort of inner well-being than anything else. And that is what, so to all the skeptics out there, just even if you have to roll your eyes and still do it because it's going to make you feel good. It's like one of those things where your mom tells you do this, and you kind of don't want to do it, but you know that she's kind of right. And then when you do it, you're like, oh, that felt really good. So I think it's just one of those things. So it's just a shout out to all the Indians watching over there. No matter where you are in the world, India is doing it for tonight. Oscar, please join in doing it for 9 minutes with us. It's just exactly 10 minutes away. And send me your videos. It's super inspiring to see people do this. So whether you're officially an Indian or not, doesn't matter. It'll just make you feel good.
Yeah,
We're all in this together at the end of the day. So
exactly. Well said. Well, Priyanka, thank you so much for joining me on the vlog
thank you.
today. It was amazing to talk to you.
You too. We keep going on talking, right? As you said, it's both of
Exactly.
us are chatterboxes. But thanks everyone for listening, and thanks Oscar for having me on the show.
Exactly. Thank you for being here. And thank you to everybody watching this vlog. I really appreciate your support. And for anybody that's looking for updated information on the coronavirus, COVID-19, go to cdc.gov or WHO.int, the World Health Organization. There's tons of great resources and content there that I think everybody can benefit from, whether you're experiencing symptoms or have contracted the virus, or just want to protect yourself and want to know certain procedures to prevent or minimize the chance of you getting the virus. All that information is on these two websites. So look for that. And if you want to follow me on social media, also here are my Instagram and Twitter handles. I post news constantly, and I am off this weekend, but I go back to work on Monday. So you'll probably see a lot more activity on my Twitter account then. So again, thank you for watching, and stay safe out there. Be sure to get a little bit of fresh air, and yeah, just hug your family tight. And until next time, have a great day.